Hey guys, welcome back to Chicago 45, The Ones. I am your gracious host, DeRay, once again with another fabulous person sitting here. I believe it's to the left or the right of me. I don't know. My left and right is off right now. This guy all the way from London.
Yes,
See,
sir.
Chicago 45, we reaching out far now. We is getting our tentacles everywhere. This man goes by Ade Sanusi.
Yes, sir. Ade Sanusi. You didn't
Give
want
them,
my
give them the
full
government. Give them the
give them
government.
the whole. My full name is Adedayo Adebita Sanusi, Nigerian heritage. So that's why I've got such a powerful long name. It's longer, but funny enough, is the other two names I don't use and I don't remember. So it's all on the passport. But yeah, that's my full long name as a whole.
Hey, thank you again. We're drinking. I'm drinking at 10 a.m. He's drinking at 6 p.m.
I
in
know my
London.
mom's gonna watch this. Mom, this is
Cheers.
only a little bit. This is tiny, so she knows.
Well, my child's mother, it's 10 a.m., baby. I'm like, I'm a rock star right now.
It's 6 a.m. It's 6 p.m. somewhere, so 6 p.m. here.
And
So
it
you're drinking
is.
with
So
me.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with
Yeah.
you. Hey, like I said off air, thank you for hopping on with me today. I want to hear all about your story and where you're
Yeah.
going. I'm super nosy, so I want to know all the deets on where you are currently at. I want to tell the people he has like this cool curation IG page of where he does so many cool things around art and music as well, right?
Yeah.
So tell people about the page, the Arts Meets Culture page.
I mean, the Art Meets Culture page was built 4 or 5 years ago. Initially, it was called Art Meets Music, and that page was literally for networking with artists. I started up the platform Art Meets Music to bring artists from Instagram and connect it to the music artists I was working with at the time, because I was predominantly working in music labels and in the music industry. But as Instagram grew, I was just intrigued by how these artists have got like 5,000 followers. And some even had 10,000. I'm like, what, you haven't done a show of this? It's like, how you selling your art? And a lot of them couldn't get into galleries because, again, galleries are quite bougie. They didn't want to connect with certain artists because, again, no story, or they weren't dead, because 9 times out of 10 they were taking in dead artists, like your Basquiat's, Andy Warhol's and all that. But it was like these cool Black artists who were on the come up. I was like, let's build a space for you guys. Let's do something cool with everyone. So, we had some artists come from Belgium for our first show, which was amazing. And from there, it's literally just the page just started to grow. Initially, it was we just had pictures of the event, but I was always conscious of, I don't want to just feel like it's just events. We want to start creating stuff, creating different pieces of content. So that took time. It only took till now to get to that content mindset stage where it's just like, let me produce a show, let me get a podcast up, and let me start connecting with more artists. So if people scroll all the way to the bottom, if they want to, you'll see the event pictures, but then it starts to progress and just let's repost some artists and showcase them some love. But that's going to go full circle to back what we're looking to do for 2021.
Okay, well let's go all the way to the front. Let's go all the way to the back when it started. Ade, who is you? Who are you? Like how did what did this come from? So I'm guessing you lived in a house where there was a lot of arts. I'm guessing.
Funny enough, no. I mean, my first, various things, because I go into like brand marketing and stuff like that. So my first thoughts of branding was in secondary school. We watched, what did we watch? It was the street basketball team, and one, if you remember.
And one?
Yeah, and one.
Hot
Yeah.
sauce in them?
Yeah, of course. So we and my boy, he used to download all their videos and he would give us all these DVDs. And I was just like, yo, these guys are just going nuts on the court. So I was like, oh, we're going to create our own streetball team in London. We're going to battle all these Americans, even though I wasn't particularly that great. I said, no, we're going to call ourselves Titanium Ballers. They were like, why? I was like, I don't know. It just sounds fire. So it was the last year of last year of high school, secondary school for us. And I was like, this is what we're going to be called. We're going to be the biggest thing on our last year of school. So there was like these street dudes who were in school as well with us. And they were like, oh, I heard you guys have got a gang. And then my boy was like, "Nah, we ain't a gang, we're a street ball team. It's titanium ballers." And that got round the school. So from there, I decided to think about, you know, what we're doing in terms of branding, graffiti shirts, how we're going to sell the DVDs. We were selling like 50p a piece, like 50 cents or even less than that. People were buying it. Girls were talking to us, you know, during that time, you know, so it was a little popular situation. And then from there, I picked art for one of my like final topics, but I failed at it because my art tutor was like, as much as you can draw the stuff, you have to explain the stuff. So I didn't continue art from that period. I then studied business studies, then went into another college to study media studies to learn about more production and stuff like that. I did a year in uni, media and film, didn't enjoy that, took a break, then landed at Universal Music. I'm driving basically to where art, you know, started to kick in more. So I was working at Universal Music for 9 months. So I was there for 9 months, met all the celebrities I wanted to meet, worked on, assisted on different projects. And then I met my mentor, Reggie Kerr, who was working for Def Jam at the time. So he was at Def Jam for 10 years. He was like, "I'm building my own label. Do you want to help on board?" So I joined these labels, spent some time there for 4 years, learned the ropes from branding, marketing, A&R, managing artists, did all of that to then figure out that I need my own thing. And what drew me to art were my musical inspirations from your Jay-Z's, who just did the Picasso Baby video at the time. So that kind of triggered a response. But looking at your Kanye's, your Pharrell's, and it's like, as much as people related to all like the gangster raps, the grimes, our genre of music here, I always gravitate to the most alternative person who's doing something different outside of it. And because I saw the high colors, everything, I was like, I need something arty, I need something cool. And then one of my mentors, he took me to this guy, Mr. Brainwash's exhibition. I went there, I saw the whole entire exhibition with so much art on the wall, music being played. And I was like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? It just encompasses everything about me creatively. And I think art meets culture has literally become my personality. So whatever art I pick, whatever I create from there, it just literally triggers off. And that was like the inception and the start of art meets culture.
Okay.
I
Wow.
gave you everything in a nutshell without telling you the horror stories as well. So, you know.
Oh no, that's a lot of information. Worked
Mm,
at Universal, and then working in the music industry, being an AR, working with like being an assistant. That's a lot of stuff to like
yeah.
to pick up within what 6 years you say?
Yeah, it was from 2008 to 2014. And it was a lot of learning. I think working in a major, you don't really get to learn those lessons because everything's, you don't feel like there's a hustle. It's just fast. You know what I mean? Oh, do this, do that. Oh, Rihanna's coming. Could you book this? Could you do this? It's like, it's all those quick things. When I worked at an independent label, it was like, yeah, we gotta get money for this. Oh yeah, we gotta
Yeah.
hustle for this. That it drove more of a hustler's nature within all of us. Do you know what I mean? We knew that if we don't do this, we don't get that. Do you know what I mean? So it pushed everybody a little bit. So it's something I enjoyed, and you know, it's something that stays with me today.
Okay. And okay, so now so we pivot to the art meet culture
Yeah,
curation.
yeah,
And how did that so you just one day you was like, let me just keep
yeah.
going with
I mean,
this? How's
yeah.
the
I mean,
feedback with that as well?
from the first event, I mean, I initially thought 10 people are going to show up. I'm promoting, and because it's like I'm promoting on this Instagram thing. I don't know what this Instagram thing is. It's like I'm promoting on here and see if people show up. 100 people showed up. It was a lot of the artists' first time doing a show like that, and the feedback was just amazing. And the reason why I wanted to do it is because one, I wanted my own show, and I was just intrigued by the process of it all. How do you getting a DJ, getting a host, um, getting people over? What do you offer them in terms of ticket sales? Like, how does it work? And luckily enough, all my costs were down. Usually you have to pay for a venue. Usually you have to pay for this, pay for that. But I got the venue for free and I got a lot of favors for free. So that enabled me to kind of accelerate the amount of events that I had at the time. So the reception developed quite fast, but then it slowed down because I started to consciously think I'm doing too many events. I'm going to end up being one of those guys who's doing too many events. but I don't want it to get diluted. Do you know what I mean? So you had to
Mm.
kind of draw back and pick what months you want to do at events. But yeah, I mean, that's when it swelled up well, and the receptions just kept picking up, before I thought it was going to die down.
Okay, so you say you had to give it some time to breathe, essentially.
Yeah,
Give it some time to
100%.
breathe because you didn't want people to be like, okay, cool, he doing one every Friday. I can miss this
Yeah,
Friday. I'll go.
exactly.
I'll go to the next Friday.
Exactly.
Okay, I get you. That's how we do back home in Chicago. We run an open gym, and it was like, we don't want to do open gym every day because then they're not gonna
Yeah,
come every day. We gonna
exactly.
numbers gonna be like this. So I get you on the business side of that.
Yeah.
Was that so? You say you thought it was gonna be like 10 people there. Was that
Yeah,
the
10
was
people,
that
because
scariest shit for you?
very, because it's just like nerve-wracking, because in your brain you want packed house,
Yeah.
everybody there. You want the best for your brand, or for whatever you're doing, whether you're selling clothes and everything. You want to get 100 sales. You want to have that great energy towards it. But I think it was, at the time, it was such a different idea because no one was doing it. Like, no one. There's a lot of art events now, but in London there was none. Um, so for me to do it and be an early adopter of it, it was just like I could literally put myself at the forefront and have conversations with people like no other. And when I started to know that it was working was when people were asking me, oh, so how did you do the event? Oh, so how did you do this? How did you do that? I'm like, oh, so people are intrigued. And a lot of the people who have asked me, they've gone on to do their other events and push them with whatever they're doing. But yeah, man, it's just having that faith, that and not having that faith, having that, letting go of that worry that 10 people might show up. Because if 10 people, I've had 20 people show up to a show before, when I know I didn't promote it to the best of my ability, and probably in my brain that was like the worst show in the world for me, but it triggered more lessons. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Um, so as far as the
Mm,
art space is it's not like the music space I would presume it to be. It's not
nah.
music is especially in like in hip hop music, it's very black ran. It's very just
Yeah,
music in general is ran by people love it because of black people. If we're
yeah,
being
yeah, yeah. We know.
honest,
Yeah,
the sound is black. No matter if it's from America, black, or it's from Africa, or it's from London,
yeah,
it's black. They love our music, but art has not always been favorable to the blacks,
yeah.
space for black people. So
Mm.
how did you navigate into that space, knowing that was already a thing? Everybody ain't Basquiat.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I never like, usually those things, they don't come to my mind, like about thinking about, oh, there's not enough black creators. My mind just works of, yo, I need to do that, so I'm gonna do it. Because if I start putting like certain barriers in my head, I will talk myself out of it and I won't do it.
Hmm.
So I just kept going and going and going, to then I realized the importance of me being in a position for a person who's probably 12 years old, looking at who's the art creator of our country. So because we never had it, or I probably haven't met many black art creators in the space, but young as me doing what I'm doing, there wasn't many. So now I'm more conscious of it, because it's just like, a black kid's going to be inspired by what I've done. Do you know what I mean? And it's going to trigger them to either be better or do something extravagant. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm meeting new artists every single day who are like, there was a 9-year-old who followed us on Instagram, new, like, just beginners drawings, and you can see it. It's just like, in 10 years time, you're gonna be fire. So it's stuff like that that makes, and it was a young black girl as well. So it was stuff like that. It's just like, I'm gonna follow you on, or follow that journey and be a representation for you, so you can see that, so you don't feel like, oh, I may need to go to a bigger gallery, but it's totally white owned and I'm not too sure how to get there. But there's this platform that can assist us through that and help us develop to build, maybe just be independent by ourselves, or we create something new in the future. So all these things like starting to come to mind now, but when I started, it wasn't um, a thought that was in the forefront. I just wanted to just go out and just be the best at what I was doing.
Okay. Um, how about okay? So gallery is what's a gallery? Help me out.
Um, that's a good
That's
question.
something you put
So
together.
I never usually think of the meaning, but obviously a gallery is like a blank space where people can exhibit anything from film bits, TV bits, paintings, photography. So it's just a blank space where they can
Okay. And the blank space.
actually need to go into deep, and there might be like a cooler term for what I explained. So I'm not even too
Okay. But we'll take that standard term. So it's a
yeah,
blank space, and you facilitate filling the spaces in for
yeah,
people. You bring in artists who has, worthy enough art to showcase on
yeah.
your blank space.
Mhm.
Okay, how was that selection process for you? Or is there a selection process?
The selection process usually, I mean, at the start, it was just like I just wanted to grab everybody that I knew. If people look at the posters, sometimes I repost the posters just to showcase how many we've done. But a lot of the time, you'll see the same names in
Okay.
certain events, and that was because I just love what they were doing. I was just like, I just want to support. So my mind was never on, oh, this person because they chose this, chose that. Because our initial shows were just about who's creating this dope work. Oh, we want you, we want you, we want you. This is what we're doing. So it was just stuff that I was just like, let me just support everybody. Now I'm really looking into detailed pieces, and the level has to be a bit different now because at the start we were taking everybody. Not to say that a few people are more better than the other, but it was just like there's kind of levels to it now, and it's just like let's get people with the highest level, and that kind of led into our solo shows. So when we know that we've got like an artist who's just like you're top notch, we just literally say, let's do a solo show for you. We'll package this together. This is the events we've done. We'll get sponsors for you. And we just create something special for them so people can appreciate that more in a more packaged deal. Whereas when we do our mix shows, it's to get everybody involved, anybody who's at the beginning stage, just to kind of get everybody feeling that they can be a part of something. But in terms of the selection process, it's usually to my taste, which is which is some people say that that may be a little bit biased, but I'm very open to everybody's art, like for whatever it is, because I know my personal things are like a cause painting, some Alec Monopoly bits, some Kobe Martin, and a few others who are just pop, something about my heritage and my culture, like stuff like that. But there's artists that I pick who's got nothing to do with that, and that's because I know what they will bring to culture during that time. You might, I think you muted. You muted?
Yeah, so I was
Oh
just on
yeah.
your YouTube, and I was looking at the Michael Jordan review.
Oh yeah.
I'm like the one picture of the Last Dance.
Which one?
It was
The one that's Akira looking one.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was the
yeah,
Last Dance shot down at him
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That one.
oh, that is fire. That one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones because it's just like, again, you know what Akira's about and you know what Jordan's about, and it just felt right. Like it just felt powerful. And me, obviously, I might watch The Last Dance again. I'm just thinking about it now. But
Man,
even
it's
watching that
that
whole
good though.
yeah, watching that whole entire documentary, it's like you know what it's about. You know everything, even within that art piece, it was just like, yeah, Jordan was that guy. Do you know what I mean?
I'm from Chicago, so
Of course, you know.
it's always Jordan is that's his home. That's his home. I'm Madhouse on Madison. I'm from.
We need to, get some new picks though for so that we can get back up. You know what I mean? The
Oh
Chicago.
man. Oh damn. And
Yeah.
you would throw us under the bus like that.
Nah, you know what it is? Like I'm with the basketball thing. It's like I love ball. I'm rooting for the Brooklyn Nets, even though they need a defense. But we can go into basketball talk at a later point. But Chicago, I think that's one franchise that I would love to see come back, like in a mad way. Because even what they will do in terms of a documentary about the new Bulls and stuff like that, it's on the rise. But we'll see how it goes.
Hey, the thing with Chicago, right? And I feel like this is I'm gonna go off on a little tangent, so excuse me.
Mhm.
So the thing with Chicago teams for me, because I'm not a fan of them of the teams.
Mm,
I'm from there, but I'm not a fan.
mm.
If we like get to the Super Bowl or we get to the finals,
Oh, you be there.
obviously I'm rooting for
Yeah.
my peoples,
Mm,
but we don't spend enough money, and then we
mm,
make very very poor choices on players to either choose or to give up.
yeah.
I'm still mad about Nate Robinson. Why we give away Nate Robinson? Why
Mm,
Nate Robinson was solid for us. You stay with him for long. He carried us to the playoffs. I'm still mad about Carlos Boozer. Like We spent all that money on Boozer. No, don't disrespect the Boozer. Boozer was good in a different
Mm.
system.
Yeah.
Just different. I'm mad about Tibbs because he played Derrick Rose too long. We
Yeah.
was up 15 in the fourth quarter. Why is Pooh in? Like,
Yeah.
why is Derrick Rose in the game? We up.
Mhm.
Sit him
Yeah.
out. If we can, so it's a lot of things I can be
We,
mad
we, we
about.
can we can run into it.
You
You
know
know
what
what
I
I mean?
mean? Don't get
Yeah.
me started on the Bears. Don't get me
Yeah.
started on them. Rex Grossman, don't do that. I will. It'll be a cry fest on here, so don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you an artist yourself? Do you paint or anything like that, or you just like?
Nah, I'm more. It's so off from what I do, but I'm more social media management and brand management. So it's either working with brands doing partnerships or doing helping them out with their social media. But all those things were just lessons that I've learned throughout music and all the jobs that I've had before. And now that I do it on a freelance basis, it helps me with time to focus on art meets culture at the same time. So I'm kind of loving the freedom of it. But yeah, as an artist, I wish I could draw. I mean, I did art in the secondary school, it's just high school for you guys, but it went great. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that for it went great. But I appreciate it heavily, hence why I did the shows.
Okay, so help me out, right? Because I'm not a big arts guy, right? But I want to get into that space where I have art in my house. When I buy me a house, I want to get to that space where there's eye pieces for people to come in and look at. Some of the
Mm.
shit that I be looking at just be just like, I don't know what we looking at. Like the Mona Lisa picture. Like,
Yeah.
do you feel like that's a good piece of art? Because for me, I'm just looking like,
I think with the Mona Lisa, it captured a piece of time and a moment. And I think, and especially the time it took to do that piece, I think that's why people marvel at it so much. And it was something that, that was preserved from the Renaissance periods. But yeah, the Mona Lisa is not a thing. It's not a thing that I'm like, wow, but it's something to appreciate because I know that someone who's out there billionaire wise would want that piece in their home because it can tell so much stories. So usually in terms of art, people just pick pieces to tell stories with. So you can sit there next to a person and have a full-blown conversation about that Mona Lisa piece because there's so much history behind it. Do you know what I mean? When was it made? How was it made? Why is it still here and stuff like that?
mm. Yeah, I think I didn't go to class when the art teacher was talking, and
Yeah.
I missed the whole concept of like some of the art because in my mind art should look good, it should look cool.
Yeah.
Um, so that's in my mind. So I
Yeah.
like not I think maybe over 2 years ago I learned that Basquiat was black, and I was like
Oh,
look at his
really?
art straight up like I was
Yeah,
like
he
oh
was Haitian and Puerto Rican.
okay. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is a man like me. Like he got
Yeah.
nappy hair
Yeah.
like me. I'm like,
Mhm.
man, he's smoking cigarettes and everything. He just and I was like, oh wow, like oh, because I was looking up a lot of black people and black influences and things like that, so I can kind of like start me a mood board or a vision board. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, and they had Bosque. I'm like, that's not a black person. Like it's not a he don't look
Yeah.
like me. That's a white man. His name is.
Mhm.
And it dawned on me. I was like, oh wow. But then some of his art as well, it's not the it's not the prettiest,
Yeah.
but it does tell a story if you look at it hard enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's a movie, if there's a Jean-Michel Basquiat movie you should check out. Um, that's good. But even like I've got books on him, and I just read about his pieces and his stories, and they all present a time period and what he was thinking. And then when you really see it and understand why he chose certain signs, why he chose certain anatomies on the human body, because he read the book, Gray's Anatomy. It's like all these things, it's like these are triggering thoughts for him because he also suffered from mental illness and everything
Yeah.
like that. So you're just seeing it through each piece. And a lot of people say, oh, it's just scribbles. For me, it's again, it's storytelling. I can look at a Basquiat piece and just pick certain pieces and understand why he drew that, why that sign's there, especially with the crown, which I love. you know he just wanted black people to get their dues and know that they were royalty. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so you definitely check out his interviews as well. He's someone that I take very serious
Mm-hmm.
in terms of, yeah, this is a black artist that I would, if I could do a show, that show would be one show I would love to curate myself. So that's a dream show that I love to curate.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
Mm.
Um, Okay, it's dream show. Okay, so you say Boss got to be a dream show of yours. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, if the Basquiat estate allows us to do, take some pieces and do something cool in his honor, I think that will work. If not, I know exactly what to do to get their attention. So I've got some ideas in the works for that.
okay, but how does because does art serve a purpose in music? I
Yeah,
know it's all art, but
yeah,
how does that correlate for a person who doesn't know? I know like visual art is like music
yeah, yeah,
videos, but how
yeah.
does like the stencil pictures and the paintings go well with music? Like how can that curate things
I
like
mean, I think it's all a part of the music, man. It's like you know, a, a frozen moment in time. Do you
that?
know what I
Mhm.
mean? If you look at, famous album covers, like a lot of them come to mind. Jay-Z Blueprint, the first one. Even he went into more of the art side of things with
Sure.
the Blueprint 3, Magna Carta, Holy
Yeah,
Grail.
Holy Grail. Yeah.
Yeah, all these
Watch the
key
Throne.
yeah, all these key album covers are art pieces. And you would, if someone say, okay, cool, we'll give you these to frame up in your wall, they're art pieces. Do you know what I mean? So, in terms of how it collaborates with music, it's all art. I think everything just flows as it goes. And I think when I do love it when artists take their art covers very serious,
Mm.
because sometimes it's like I'm gonna listen to that, because sometimes I even when CDs were the thing, or when I was working at Universal, I would see certain covers and I'll just pick it up just because of that, because I just liked it visually. Do you know what I mean? So people say, I mean, you may say you don't understand art, but I'm sure you picked up something because visually it just looked appealing to you. Do you know what I mean? So it's just
Sure.
like that's where it is for art. Like that feeling when you get when you see that. Oh, I wonder what that is. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Hey, who's so London? So London, I've always viewed London as a very artsy, fly place and things like that. Am I
mhm.
right to say? Am I right to say?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
guys are fly. You guys are fly. Yeah.
I mean, I would say I live in one of the flyers boroughs. So even though a
Wait.
few people say nah, so like Hackney, Shoreditch, which is like predominantly a lot of artists, and also West London as well. But Shoreditch was like you'll see non-stop rappers, musicians. I mean, right now it's a ghost town, but 2012, 2011, I live next to like a strip where Shoreditch is in Dalston. That whole strip, every Thursday, Friday, you would either see ASAP Rocky or
Mhm.
Pharrell if they're in town, Skepta in this rave called Visions. You go up, you go to the Ace Hotel, you see a bunch of people there. You see, I met Just Blaze
Just Blaze.
there. And it was just like, I was just like, "Dude, I love what you did on that Jay-Z. You don't know, you know what
Just
I mean? That was,
Blaze.
you know what I mean? Like all these things, and like you're having these conversations with so many creators. So it's just like everybody was attracting the energy in this space, and it was a beautiful moment. Right now it's not the same, so hopefully it creeps back up. But yeah, I live in London's pretty, yeah, it's
Why is
fashion.
that? Why is London like? I mean, because when you look on like most like people websites that do fashion, they
Yeah,
always have London, Paris, New
yeah,
York,
yeah,
Los Angeles, Tokyo, and but
yeah,
they never give Chicago no love either. I just want to say that they never give us no love.
yeah.
And
I
I
mean, you
think
got a couple cool people, around
we
there.
fly,
Yeah,
there. Stop it, we fly. It's just we fly, we
yeah,
fly. Don't get us, don't do us like that. Don't do us like that, bro.
yeah.
So why is London one of those top homes of like fashion? How did it become that way?
Um, I mean, obviously, I mean, I don't know too much about like the 60s and 70s, but I know like punk rock, pop, all that era was a thing, the 60s, the 70s, the bell bottoms, all of that. But as time went on, the Windrush generation with where a lot of Caribbean people came into the country, like they brought their cultures in, Africans then came in, brought our cultures in, and you're just having it's just, especially London, it's just a mixture of so many cultures. And it's like you either want to be ignorant and do the racist thing and get your ass kicked and stuff like that, or you embrace. And then through that, people in being embracing other cultures, you get new things. People are open to new fashion ideas, and it just pops out more. And then that's how certain things come up. And that's how we know we got our grime music, by again, cultures coming together and stuff like that. And now we've got like our Afro beats wave that we got down here. So again, more cultures coming up, but it's just a wave of different cultures and people just being just a much more open creatively in this space rather than a few other places. And from there, you know, obviously people have looked at hip hop like your Tokyos and stuff like that. They've taken pieces of America, put it into their culture, and they're inspired by stuff. So I think it's having that open mind from the rest of the world that's kind of triggered a lot of, you know, new ideas, new creations.
Mm. Yeah, man, because I mean, you guys are like fly as hell, but it's some shit that y'all be like, I be seeing like fashion for people do. That I'm like,
Mm.
nah, I can't do that, bro. I'm just
Which
like,
one's that?
it'd be some shit that be people be doing like wearing like I don't have an issue with it. I just couldn't do it.
Mm.
It may be just a fashion statement, like wearing like a who had a dress on? Was it Lil Uzi?
And that he's American, no?
Yeah. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, like he go over there. It's like it
Yeah,
just
I
like
mean,
I'm just about the fashion, just the fashion. Like some
yeah,
people
I mean,
go
some
over the
people are
top.
inspired by, yeah, I mean, sorry to cut you. I mean, a lot of people are inspired by that. It's not my thing, but some people are just like, oh, we're gonna try on this today. You know, I remember long t-shirts used to be a thing, and people will say, oh, long t-shirts were like looking like a dress.
I got
I'm
one
just
on
like,
now.
you know, so I'm just like, long t-shirts, pretty cool. Like even from like there was a period back to my streetball days. I used to wear 4XL t-shirts.
Yep, tall tees, baby.
Yeah, tall tees, and people used to be like, "You're wearing a dress. You're like a girl." I'm like, "Nah, these are tees." And now and I stopped wearing them. I started wearing t-shirts my size, everything like that. And now, because my girl's like, she's on her fashion stuff. She's like, you need to go back to wearing oversized t-shirts. I'm like, oh, okay. So
Just a little
now
bit.
it's just like every time I get a t-shirt, I'm so specific about the cuts. If the cut don't drop properly, like I'm constantly just wearing oversized stuff and stuff like that. That used to be the dresses, but now I'll cut different to look like cooler t-shirts. So it's just,
Yeah, they cooler. They not
yeah,
just like for you're not wearing a 5X.
yeah.
You
But the
wear your
5X is
size.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, you wear your size. You may go up in a one size, but you ain't
Yeah,
going
yeah.
3, 4 sizes bigger.
Hmm.
Like we did the same thing here. Fucking, but I blame it on Lil Wayne and them. I
Yeah,
blame it on Lil Wayne. Um, yeah, I blame it on them. You know, 'cause
yeah.
they had us wearing big ass shit. Man,
You know.
pants that was 6 sizes bigger. You
Yeah,
know,
waist 36s, waist 40s.
I
And then
just got in the
yeah,
40s. I just
yeah.
got in the 36. I was wearing that shit in high school, bro.
You know, I got my boy who was a waist 30 to wear a waist 36. I said, nah, the waist 36 is the wave, man. He said he will never do that again. The belts he
Yeah,
had to wear
the
for those
belt,
jeans.
the amount of holes he had to put in so he
Yeah.
could fit the
And make
pants.
holes as well. You know, I mean, he made a
He in the
couple
house
holes
with
in
a butter knife or a knife
that.
trying to poke a hole in it.
You
I
know?
know about it so well, man. Hey,
Mhm.
it's crazy to meet somebody from London and to hear the your journey and things like that. So I appreciate that too.
No worries,
Um,
man.
I want to ask about 'cause we went over the music, I went over art, and now I want to know about the podcast that you do.
Mhm.
Talk to me about that. Like what is that? Why are you doing it?
Yeah, so start of 2020, it feels like a weird time. Start of 2020, like February before the pandemic. You heard rumblings about COVID, but you're like, it's just another thing that's in the past. So I initially was going to start a whole bunch of events. I was actually we're going to do 4 events this whole entire year. Let's get it on. Um, but the venue at the time that I was working with, they were put it so they were just trying to shaft artists, and I wasn't appreciating of what the type of deal they were giving me, the artists, um, and how they were just breaking the rules on certain things that I just wasn't happy about. But that's neither here or there. That's just me ranting. Um, so the pandemic hits, lockdown, we can't move nowhere. But lucky enough, I told myself then that I'm not going to do events for a while until it makes sense for
Hmm.
me. Um, And until I sit on an idea that just makes perfect sense, I'll go with it. So I said, you know what? I need to, one, change the name. So for years, we were called Art Meets Music. That name brought me amazing events, you know, up and down struggles, but it was so, it had a window because we were just like, are we always going to do art, music, art, music, art, music? No, we affect culture. And through culture, we can tell better stories. So I switched the name, called it Artmeetsculture. And then I was just like, okay, what are we going to start with? We're here now. So then I called up my brother. I was like, bro, you got a podcast mic? He was like, yeah, which is the podcast mic we're using today. And he was just like, yeah, you can use it. So I said, I'm going to contact every single artist that I know and say, do you want to get on the podcast? Do you want to get on the podcast? So I ended up I was recording 4 episodes a day at one point. Just like, I don't know how, it was just literally 12, 3, 6, 9. And I'll be talking to Americans, I'll be talking to people in Nigeria, and I'm just having conversations, but I'm freestyling this. I haven't put no questions down, nothing like that. And I'm
Hey,
just
can I
like, yo,
pause you for a second?
yeah.
Hey, people who out there watching this, in order to do 4 podcasts a day, I mean, just the amount of like the thinking of what you're gonna ask a person,
Yeah.
and doing your homework on them, it is not light work.
Oh, it's not at all.
It's
But
not light work, bro.
what was great for me during that period, because I just did it. I did it without thinking. But now I appreciate. I think I've never listened back to those episodes at all. And I listened back to one, and I realized there's an audio mistake in one. I was like, oh, like I messed up.
Bro,
But yeah, I was doing.
it's tough. It's tough.
Oh,
That's
for sure, for sure.
4 days.
But I was doing 4 a day, but that enabled it to shift to like 30 episodes for up until September, which was great. And I was happy that I was doing that. So I kicked it off basically to tell the stories of artists, because it's for, you know, people like you who may not know much about art, but I'll check. You don't know about this artist? Okay, listen to what he has to say, hear his story, and maybe that will convince you to buy an art piece. Like when we listen to music, like there's some music artists that I can see on Instagram. I ain't listening to this guy. I'll hear it. I ain't listening to this guy. And then I see the video. Like it's like so many touching points. It's like people think they can just sell just off one post. You have to have so many touching points. Like I have to be in presence of it. I have to hear what you have to say. I have to visually see what you have to say about it as well. It's like all these things. I was like, we're going to get so many touching points within this that it's going to push someone to be more intrigued about their art. And from there, the podcast just kept growing and growing and growing. Stopped it in September/October. And now it's just like every week, I'm literally going to do 1 a week. I ain't going to go ham like 4 times a week, because now it's just like I'm really going in with research on each artist now. I want it just to show my growth through it, that I'm researching, going in depth with every artist and just showcasing my growth for it. So that's what I've been doing now. And it's been a beautiful thing. And as much as I would love to get back into events right now and do an extravagant event, I'm enjoying this content game. I really love it. Do you know what I mean? And I think I found my new passion in content creation. Whereas before I wasn't thinking about content creation. It was just literally events. But now it's just like I found a strong love for content creation.
What I want to do, because so this is my fan of you, because I am a fan of you now. So this is I'm in like fan, glory land.
Appreciation.
And I enjoy the way you talk about the paintings and the art. I'm like, this guy, is it scripted, or is it like is it scripted, or is it kind of like this is how you really feel about the pictures?
What, the art review?
Yeah, the art review.
I mean, I would literally spend a day looking at art pieces. So I'll probably tab about 20 different art pieces, and I'll literally look at them. In my brain, if I can't say 3 things about this, I won't talk about it. And that's not to say that the artwork is not great. It's that at this time, I can't say 3 things about it that will make a basic person understand. Because I could talk about, oh, look at the fine lines he chose. I don't think people care about that. I want to say the story behind this whole entire piece, so people can be like, oh, there was struggle behind it. Oh, that's why he drew that. Do you know what I mean? And look at the details. It took this person said years to do XYZ. So I would literally just be at home and write everything down. So I'll probably do about 2 scripts in a week. So I need to do another 2 for the next week's episodes. So one will be a special and one will be a normal episode. So the next one's going to be LeBron James. So I found like 10 pieces that I thought, that paid amazing homage to LeBron James. I'm doing a lot of basketball players, which is funny, but I think LeBron will be the last one because I've got Kobe, Jordan, LeBron. I ain't doing no more. So yeah, I'll literally just write them down, write about 3 to 4 things, and literally just articulate in a way where it's just easy for the consumer who doesn't pay attention to art but wants to know why this artist that they know drew this piece, and that might trigger them to buy something. So we're trying to trigger sales, and trigger new art collectors at the same time.
Okay, can I put you on the spot?
Let's go.
I'm gonna share my. This is the first time I'm ever doing this with anybody, so I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna pick out 2 or 3 pictures, and I want you to just educate me, man. Because
Yeah.
I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, these shits is fly. But
Yeah.
I want to know from an actual person who lives that art's life, who can help me. Like, oh shit, like I wasn't getting that from. I may got the icing, but I didn't get
Yeah.
the feeling. I didn't get the foundation, and that shit is so important because the times we live in right now, we're like microwave. Everybody's microwave success. Everybody's a gnat, like as far as attention span.
Exactly.
And I want to get the whole totality of this person's work because it is somebody's work at the end of the day. The same way I want somebody to view our YouTube channel and to like actually watch the 45-minute videos or the hour videos and take their time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work put into it, and I want people to actually, take in the time and to learn what we're trying to give them. So I'm gonna give you 2 or 3 pieces. Hopefully I do this right. I'm gonna share my screen. Let's see, we're gonna go here and they say basic. No, we don't want that. Oh, boom, let's go here. I'm gonna go here. Let me know if you see my screen as far as the pictures.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, I feel so fancy with this, man. This is so cool.
Is
All
it
right,
is this
so
is this our page or
this
this is our page?
this
Yeah.
your page. Come on,
Okay.
man.
I
Hold on.
thought
Let me.
this was pictures you selected.
Look at that. People see that. I want them to see this right here, man.
Know the
Uh,
vibes.
so I picked out this picture too. Hold on, let me pick out the one I just went to. Where it just go? Where it just go? Where did the young lady go? This picture right here. Give me when I come in the gallery and you talking to me. Talk to me. In your good voice too.
The thing is I don't even know which is the good voice, depending on who I'm with. So, I mean, this piece, what I'm seeing right here is something that draws me to elders in Africa, specifically, Nigeria. So I would presume that, this will be an artist paying homage to traditional things that are still being done back home. I mean, you don't see that on the day to day. You don't see a woman carrying her goods on top of her head. It looks crazy to some, but this is how they transported all their food, their water, and everything like that. And it's still being done today. Do you know what I mean? Putting stuff on their head is something a lot of, Black women in Africa have done or still do it today to do that. I mean, again, from the colors, the head wrap, traditional, even the type of plates that are on there as well, they're not in, how can I put it? They're not in uniform. We have a lot of random plates, especially in our homes back in the day. It was just like you have a red plate, but there won't be a set of a red plate because probably we broke about a bunch of them. So you can see all of that within that story. So you can tell that, that's a big family or anything like that. But yeah, that's what I would describe thus far. I mean, what else would you like to learn about this piece?
Man, I honestly I picked that up because I'm heavy into like now learning about the diaspora and like people
Mhm.
from back home, from the homeland, I should say. And
Yeah,
it's super colorful. Because I mean when I see Africa, I only
yeah,
see Africa in a very on TV they show you in a very dirty, poor way.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
I
don't
mean,
show
it's
you vibrant
beautiful.
colors.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. Even when, when I was back in Nigeria when I was 18, like I would see this stuff, but it's just like you appreciate it quickly because you're just like, wow, they still do that, and they're not even thinking about this. I'm looking stupid right here. This is what I got to do. This is us. This is what we do. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's beautiful to see, and it's beautiful how that artist illustrated that.
Okay, so let me find another one where's the one I was looking at? Okay, cool. This is the one I was looking at. Let me share my screen again. We're gonna go here. We're gonna share that, and then this one right here. So this
Cool.
one, I see it's a lot going on, and
Mm,
it's just like, um, it's beautiful. I first want to state that it is
yeah.
super beautiful, and it's a lot going on, but help the average eyes of a person who don't look at art every day. Tell what we looking at.
I mean, what I see when I see this piece is, an amazing black girl in front of the American flag that thinks that the power is about, again, white supremacy, about these organizations and everything like that. And it's like you got the keywords in there, power to the people. And all we want to do is, as much as with that girl even wearing the mask, obviously COVID times and everything like that, but behind all that is a beautiful smile. She's still seeing color, while everybody's still seeing black and white in that flag. Do you know what I mean? Because that's how they perceive America. But in her eyes, it's color, it's happiness, it's joy. Do you know what I mean? She's got the one of the African masks next to her as well. There's some culture within her as well. But yeah, that whole piece for me just feels like she's in a different perspective to what the world is. But yeah, that's my feeling towards it. I just made that all up on the spot. So if I done right to the artist, let me know.
Hey, I almost shed a tear, bro.
See, they need me in galleries. If I'm in galleries, trust me, sales.
No, seriously, bro. Like I'm like, oh shit. Like
Yeah, because
I'm
when you
literally
see it,
water eyed.
yeah, when you see that piece, the colors hit you straight away. But it hit me, but this is probably like the third time I'm seeing that piece. But then I started seeing the flag. And it's like, right, the flag's like black and white. And that's like how people perceive America. But it's a beautiful place. Look at this beautiful girl that's on there, just
Wow,
carrying
bro.
culture with her. So yeah.
Bro, I'm literally like teary eyed and whatnot. Cause that's crazy. You just picked all that up. And now
Mm,
I look at it, I see that.
yeah.
Like you talk about the mask, she has, her
Yeah.
culture in her, like, whoa, that's like,
Yeah.
or the COVID mask, because we is in the pandemic and the mask, like the flag behind you, seeing it, bro, you're whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those are the things. It's like when looking at art pieces, a lot of people would be like, oh, what's that? That's just this. This is a couple of paints. But it's just like if you can really look deep within, it's like some people don't listen to certain artists.
Yeah.
And had like sometimes you'd be like, how do you not understand what Jay just said right
Yeah, yeah,
there?
yeah.
How
Okay.
do you do that? And it's just like, how you not seeing this piece? And then we have to go a little bit deeper. Because sometimes it's like, I'll listen to some Jay-Z lyrics and I'm thinking, yo, I get it now. Like I get that feeling, do you know what I mean? So certain times you may not catch it the first time, but through conversations and you even ask for you, now you're feeling it. You're feeling that energy. And now that you're probably drawn into like, I want that piece, that could inspire someone. And you could just literally put that in your house. So when, the family come over, you can give them the same and be like, oh wow, that's very nice. Do you know what I mean? Conversational pieces.
Yeah, now that's beautiful how you just brought all that like center.
Mm.
I got one more for you, and these are guys I'm gonna blame on your baggy clothes. I'm gonna blame these guys on all those 4X shirts, like we said in the beginning. Um, this right here, I see all the baggy guys right here.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this time, because this is a time piece, right?
Yeah, I mean, even this artist, great Childlife, they've got a lot of homage pieces that just captures time and moment. Do you know what I mean? You could just see like all this stuff just reminds me of the stuff I wore. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I can say, oh, I'll pick this piece because you know it encapsulates a time when I was just like, wear baggy clothes, the basketball street team that we did, all of those things, sort of things I'll pick up. And then, yeah, I could pick the story from there, but amazing shade work there. Do you know what I mean? The white background obviously makes it pop. So you're definitely just looking
Yeah.
at every single member. I mean, for those who even know who, you know, the Hot Boys are. So yeah, that, I mean,
Oh
with this
man,
piece,
BG Juvie.
yeah, for this piece is more me explaining it because again this is probably one of the pieces that I passed on not to talk about, but I think because I will make that a little bit personal about me rather than how can I interpret it for a person, and it'll be different if you were a fan of the Hot Boys. You know what I mean?
Mm. Hey, you didn't fail. You didn't fail, man. You did. Woo, you don't need no script. You don't need
I
no
do. And
script.
the thing is, I need a script because it's like I just want to know that okay, this is what we're doing. Boom, boom, boom. But if I freestyle, maybe you know what? Maybe I should start doing freestyle. I'm just thinking. I think I might do it off the top. But
Let's do Freestyle Fridays.
yeah, if you listen to the first ever art review, that was freestyle,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I was so uncomfortable freestyling. I was like, this doesn't even sound right, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking. But people appreciate that episode a lot. But I was like, I don't feel comfortable
Yeah, you
freestyling.
didn't feel comfortable.
You know what I mean? But now it's just like because I script it, it's because I just want a formula, so I work within it, so it helps me with my time. Because I might be freestyling about this art piece for like 5 minutes or talking about it, but I was like, script is probably better for me at this moment in time, just for time purposes only.
Hey man, I'm like I literally was in like teary eyed moment, like wow, he just brought all of that from that picture, and that
Mm,
just shows like the importance of good storytelling through the art
yeah,
and people who can read between those lines and pick it
yeah,
up
yeah, yeah,
and tell the you know the beginner lookers like myself, hey man, look at this, check
yeah,
this out. This is what I'm getting from it because it's all you know, objective, right? It's all what you see, you know, at the most part. Another person from another place can look at it different. If they from like
exactly.
across the way from you, they'll look at it completely different from what you.
Yeah, yeah,
But it means a lot that a person from London
yeah. Mm.
picked that shit up that's happening over here in
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of it, you know, through the internet, you know, police injustice and everything like that, how America's been treated over the years. And, you know, we feel the same about a lot of things. So when we see that, we feel it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It hasn't got the British flag on it, but when we see that flag, that flag used to be the flag that, oh, America is amazing
Yeah,
when it
yeah.
was on TV because they could sell you that stuff. But I think the internet just said, look, this is a show, and this is what really happens. And I
Yes.
think when you see that flag now, it's a little bit uncomfortable to look at. Do you know what I mean?
I'm
Because
a
even when people put it up, I almost think you a Trump supporter. Like it's weird. Like the flag is not what it was this past like 4 or 5 years. It's like it's just the perception of it is changed. You know, people don't wear. I mean, people are patriotic to the flag, and this is no disrespect to the flag or anything like that, but the branding of the flag has changed because of
mm,
what's been happening over the past few years.
hey, um, being here, the the branding has changed. The branding
Mm,
has changed for it, but the the unlearning we had to do as African American people who
yeah,
here day to day, that is like what's really happening right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the flag it can remain whatever it means to people. It can remain that way, but
Mm,
the honest truth of the flag itself has been rooted in racism, injustice,
yeah,
slavery, blase, blase. It's
yeah,
been rooted in those things,
mm,
kidnapping, murder, blase, blase.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
been rooted in those things. And a lot of folks have misplaced they loyalties in that flag. So
Mm,
it's all good that you fought for the country, but that flag has not fought for you.
mm,
You know what I mean? That flag hasn't fought for people that look like me and you or women. It hasn't always done that. It's only
exactly.
what 70 years ago Jim Crow was done. So it's not like it's been like always for you. It's not always been that. And it's it's great to see, our neighbors from across the sea see that. You know
Mm,
what I mean? And really like, whoa, America, y'all ain't shit either. Like what not
mm,
even not shit either. Y'all just ain't shit. Y'all coming to everybody else's place and want to
mm,
reign supreme and things like that. So it's always awesome to see other people from other places identify with the injustice that's been happening over here.
yeah,
Because like we've been, like you said, we've been America, the American ideal and like goal has always been the top of everybody. I need to get to America. I need to get to America.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
knowing that, let's say you left a place of like poverty or injustice or whatever, you may, depending on how you look, end up in that shit. Same shit, just a different
mm,
day for you at the end of the day.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's powerful to see that. And I also want to give credit to what credit is due. Um, from our neighbors from across the sea, the the George Floyd incident, right?
yeah,
The amount of response and the amount of like the level of like everybody's attentive and everybody's ready
yeah,
was so heartwarming for me. And I bet it was for you too, because you blacker than
yeah,
me. And like you could go like they don't care what your tone sound like. Shit,
yeah,
you black. Like they don't
yeah,
care if you got an accent, if you speak well.
mhm,
Nah, nigga, you black. So and it's but it was the outpouring of support was so monumental to me. I've never felt so uh, I don't want to say well, I'll say cared about from other people.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, did you
yeah,
feel that?
yeah. It was for me that whole moment. It was. I mean, I went through like various emotions when
Mhm.
it happened. Do you know what I mean? I didn't watch the video. I didn't watch the George
I
Floyd.
had to.
You know what I mean? And I think because I know how I know what my rage and triggering being triggered is like, but I think just hearing it and just hearing people say the same stories, it's the same things. And again, the marching was beautiful for me, but I instantly have Malcolm X mode in my head. It's like, yo, like you might have to do something, you know what I mean? I don't want to say it on air, but it just felt that way because you're feeling so much anger towards the situation. It's just like you don't get like I'm here because you like talking as an America. If I was in America, I'm here because you brought me here, but
Hmm.
now you don't want me here. You tell me to go back. So then pay me what's to do and take me back. Do you know what I mean? But they rather kill and build these systems to oppress. And I'm like, where's the humanity in just talking to a person in a normal way without doing that stuff that's going to trigger so many communities? And now it's triggered the world, it's put everybody's back up. So it was beautiful to see that, but I'm in the mind of, okay, what are we gonna do next? Because that's like a big thing that I will always have like massive conversations with my people about like what are we gonna do next? In my personal opinion, I don't want us to be asking anybody for anything. Like as much as we want all we want. I know there's like this whole reparations thing as well, but there's something about building your own,
Hmm.
especially in this time of the internet.
Yeah.
That it's just like, yo, we can connect more if we were just a little bit smarter. And it's just like, I don't think they can try and block on the internet, whatever, block certain things and all that whatnot. But I think there's so much power in connecting. They say, oh, we can't connect to our true ancestors in Africa. They're in Africa right now. The Instagram ads are cheap. What's stopping you from showcasing who you are to that world, like talking to your people through that, sending messages? There's so many ways, but I think from a powerful situation, to now knowing what are the solutions to take it from point A to B. Because again, it's so crazy to say this, and it's dark. This is going to happen again because they don't care. And when it does, the protests are not going to be that heavy because they're going to try and say, okay, cool. They'll do something like this. Okay, cool. All the shops can go back open. All of a sudden, the disease may not exist. I'm going into conspiracy theory mode. You know, the disease may not exist no more, and everybody can go out. But then it's like they do stuff to switch you over from thinking about focus. So I probably went off in a tangent, but
oh no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I want, you know, people of color just to get into that focus mode, and let's tackle one thing at a time. I know there's many agendas at play that we all need justice for.
Yeah.
But listen, Jordan didn't do 6 championships in 1 year. So we have to go season by season, face different opposition, face different teams until we get to the playoffs again, and show why we are here, show our power, and win those chips and do it the right way. So yeah.